Keeping a close eye on your forecast and some isolated showers out there right now, but we are stuck in this summertime pattern across the Gulf Coast. I'll be breaking down all of your forecast details coming up.
Plus, hundreds of Marines are on standby south of LA as law enforcement continues to crack down on anti-ICE protests. We have the newest details for you coming up.
On the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 Midday starts now.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome into Fox 10 Midday on your Tuesday. It's June 10th. I'm Ashlyn Mitchell.
And I'm Jennifer Lambert.
And Jen, as always, we're starting with a look at our forecast this morning. We were just talking. I said, how should we describe the weather today? You said hot, humid, and summertime. Yep. So that's my creative intro for you.
See, there you go. It's going to be the exact same thing every single day. Heat, humidity, and those storms firing off in the afternoon. So it's something that we're used to, but we still like to complain about it. And so as you do take a look at conditions across the southeast, the majority of that rain coverage is taking place just further offshore over the Gulf waters. Here locally, it's very isolated, but we are beginning to warm up. Our winds are out of the southwest. They're bringing in more of that humidity, so only expecting more of those showers and storms to begin firing off. I mean, you can already start to see some of that just closer towards Bay Minette. You can start to see that shower just beginning to form up there, and so only expecting more of that as we do continue throughout the rest of your Tuesday. Just taking a look where some of those showers are right now. More of those beginning to push further north, closer towards Frisco City. Huxford looking a lot better. Barnett Crossroads closer towards Wallace, also seeing some of those showers. So just be careful in case you're heading out across I-65. But it's going to be a very just quick passing shower as you travel through there. Portions of northern Baldwin County closer towards Kearney and even extending into Florida near Pineville and Walnut Hill. Starting to see some of those showers. Also more of that over the Delta closer towards Hurricane and extending into portions of Mobile County closer towards Satsuma. Again, also impacting more portions of I-65. But a live view outside from our Navigator Credit Union camera at the Battleship. It's gray, it's gloomy. It's looking like it could rain at any point, but also more of those gray skies. That's just an indicator that we have some very high humidity out there. It is muggy. Temperatures in the mid-80s. Those winds out of the south-southeast only increasing the dew points out there, which are now in the mid-70s. So it's feeling more like 94. Those temperatures all across the Gulf Coast, just starting to see more of those lower to mid-80s out there, even some upper 80s beginning to pop up. But it's feeling warmer. The heat indices, the feels like temperatures, starting to see more of those mid-90s. Pensacola, Mobile, Lucedale, Leakesville, all just starting to see more of those 90s out there. You're almost rooting for some of that rain coverage, which we'll see more of heading into the rest of today, especially popping up heading into the afternoon and the evening. Once that heat and that humidity begin to work together and really add some fuel to some of these storms to pop up. Now, coming up in just a little bit, I'm going to talk more about your forecast. We'll time things out on your Futurecast and talk more about what you can expect over the next few days. That's coming up in just a little bit. Ashlyn.
Jen, thank you. Topping our news at 11 this morning, protests continue in Los Angeles following ICE raids that happened over the weekend. President Trump and California Governor Gavin Newsom are not seeing eye to eye. Fox News correspondent Jonathan Hunt explains.
I hereby declare this to be an unlawful assembly.
Anti-ICE protests have lost some steam but are expected to continue here in Los Angeles today after more violence Monday night with thousands of protesters taking to the streets.
They're dealing with this civil unrest, and quite candidly, if the mayor, the governor, and the president are having a political squabble above them, that's not what they're dealing with on the ground.
California Governor Gavin Newsom publicly sparring with President Trump, suing the administration for its deployment of the National Guard in downtown LA and promising more legal action if Marines are sent to the city. Hundreds of Marines who were ordered to Los Angeles by President Trump are now staging nearby in Seal Beach for a few days to watch as the situation unfolds. President Trump took to Truth Social Tuesday morning, saying if he didn't send in the National Guard, Los Angeles would be, quote, burning to the ground right now. The Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth was testifying on Capitol Hill this morning.
ICE agents should be allowed to be safe in doing their operations, and we have deployed National Guard and the Marines to protect them in the execution of their duties.
Dozens have already been arrested, and officials say there will be more arrests coming as they comb through surveillance video and social media to identify anyone who took part in the violence. In Los Angeles, Jonathan Hunt, Fox News.
And also this morning, heavy flames tore through the 4th and 5th floors of the parking structure of a library in Nashville, Tennessee overnight. Take a look at the video on your screen. It caused a partial collapse of a ramp leading to the 5th floor. Eli Gilmore, a musician who lives nearby, captured this video of smoke rising from the building. He says he heard loud explosions. Many vehicles were damaged, and the nearby Renaissance Hotel was temporarily evacuated as a precaution due to a sky bridge connected to the garage.
That's tires blowing up, gas tanks. There was, with the storage area, they had like 5-gallon gas cans and all that in there. That's what was going on.
Wow. Well, thankfully, Nashville's fire chief says no one was injured in the incident, and the cause of the fire is under investigation this morning. In the meantime, a police chase in western Ohio last Thursday led to a bizarre attempt to thwart officers before it ended in a pileup. Authorities tried to pull over a truck that had no visible registration. That's when the driver fled the scene and the chase began. At one point, deputies deployed stop sticks, which deflated the tires, but the truck kept going. Someone in the truck bed was also throwing wooden boards onto the highway to try to disable or strike the police cars that were following behind. Now, the truck eventually went over to the wrong side of the road, hit another vehicle head on, and caused a 6-vehicle accident. We're told 4 people in the truck tried to escape on foot, but were eventually caught. Suspects could face charges of drug possession and aggravated vehicular assault. The other people who were involved in the pileup thankfully only suffered minor injuries. Also this morning, a violent crash leaves an SUV landing vertically against a home. All of this happening around 2 a.m. Saturday in Milwaukee. A resident inside the home said his family woke up shocked at what they saw, but no one was injured. The home, though, did receive some damage to the outside. There's no word on the condition of the driver. Milwaukee police, though, are investigating the accident, but haven't released any further information. Well, turning to global news now, Russian drones and missiles hit Odessa early this morning, killing at least 2 people. Ukraine authorities say at least 9 others were also hurt in that attack, including a maternity hospital and several residential buildings that were also damaged. The attacks came just hours after Moscow launched nearly 500 drones at Ukraine in one of the biggest overnight attacks in the 3-year war. It should be noted that foreign officials were anticipating this response from Russia following Ukraine's drone attack on Russian air bases on June 1st. Listen to this. A rare and deadly school shooting in Austria sends shockwaves across the whole country. Fox News' Greg Palcott has the alarming details.
There's a heavy police presence in Austria's second biggest city following a mass shooting at a school. At least 9 people were killed and many others seriously wounded in the city of Graz. It happened at this secondary school. It's believed the shooter is also dead and there's no further threat to the community, though police are still trying to figure out what prompted the shooting.
The facts are still being established. It was important for us to get the situation under control so that there is no further danger.
The shooting happened Tuesday morning around 10 a.m. local time. That's when police and special forces were sent to the high school. Around 11:30, they reported the school was evacuated and the area was, quote, secured.
The other students who were in the building have been evacuated from the building and accommodated in the neighborhood with a crisis intervention team.
This type of gun violence is extremely rare in Austria, though gun ownership is widespread. Single-shot rifles and shotguns can be purchased by anyone over the age of 18 without a permit. But in 2023, there were only about 20 gun murders in the entire country. Austrian Chancellor Christian Stocker is calling the shooting, quote, a national tragedy. And Austria's European neighbors are also offering support as the investigation ramps up.
We stand together in mourning, and while we seek clarity in the wake of this horrible event in a school.
Local media in Austria are reporting that at least 30 people were taken to hospitals following the shooting. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
And in local news now, we're learning more about a deadly altercation in 8 Mile. Deputies say Austin and James Wheat drove from McIntosh to 8 Mile to confront 57-year-old James Suggs, who they accused of stealing from them. Deputies say they found Suggs in his front yard with a gunshot wound to his neck. He later died at the hospital. The brothers are now each facing a murder charge, and their attorney says they acted in self-defense when the alleged victim pulled out a machete. But authorities say the brothers should have just called them instead of handling it themselves.
Construction tools was no reason for anyone to die, not at all.
I know that the victim had a machete, and I know that he was attacking one of the brothers, and one of the brothers shot to keep his brother from being killed with a machete.
And right now, investigators aren't saying which brother allegedly pulled that trigger, but both have since posted bond. In the meantime, we're also learning more about 2 domestic-related incidents that left 3 people dead. According to investigators, the first one happened at a home on Ross Street Sunday. Police say Tracy McDuffie was shot and killed by her 25-year-old son, Brandon McDuffie. Investigators add Tracy's other son observed what happened and then shot and killed Brandon. Not even an hour later across town, another deadly incident occurred. Police say a fight between 2 roommates turned deadly at the 110 apartments. Investigators say Jordan Jones and her mother were removing Jones's belongings when the former roommate and Jones began to argue. Police say the roommate pulled out a knife to defend herself and stabbed Jones and her mother. Jones later died. Chief Jackson says there need to be better solutions.
We continue to preach, please have conflict resolution skills, learn to walk away, live to see tomorrow. Call us to solve your problems if you can't solve them. But oftentimes things like this, such as this, happen inside the home, and it's not preventable, unfortunately.
And in both of these cases, no arrests have been made. We're told each case will be presented to a grand jury next. And breaking now, there will be 1 less candidate to vote for in the upcoming Mobile mayor election. Former Mobile County Commissioner Stephen Nodine is out of the mayor's race. Nodine says he's suspending his campaign because of an inability to get a pardon from the Alabama Board of Pardons and Paroles. He says the board denied his request for an expedited hearing, and he also cites an error in the state's electronic court record system that classified a misdemeanor ethics conviction as a felony. You might remember Nodine went on trial for murder in the death of his girlfriend back in 2010. The jury deadlocked, and prosecutors and Nodine worked out a plea bargain. He admitted to misusing his county-issued truck and making a false statement on a form requesting a court-appointed lawyer. Well, straight ahead on Fox 10 Midday, Fox 10 is getting ready for the hurricane season with our special Storm Ready 2025. Plus, Fox 10 Stephen Moody has an update on the Mobile International Airport. We'll have those details after the break, but first, Jen, hot and sticky is the name of the game today.
That is exactly right, Ashlyn, and we're taking a live view outside down on Dauphin Island. Now, here's the good news is that it is sunny. It's pretty out there. We're starting to see some of that sunshine, really not many clouds out there far off on the horizon. Winds a little breezy, but over the next few hours, those temperatures will feel hot. We'll be in the mid-80s, but that humidity will have it feeling warmer. Higher rain chances this afternoon further inland. I'll be breaking down more of those details coming up when we come back.
Welcome back in. You're watching Fox 10 Midday. The Mobile Airport Authority held their monthly board meeting this morning. It was an opportunity for us to get an update on the construction of the new terminal. Our Stephen Moody has more.
Construction continues for the brand new Mobile International Airport. Work began on the new terminal back in 2024 on the over $380 million project, which includes 5 new terminals and a parking garage. The terminal is now expected to be finished by September of 2026, with flights starting in the fall.
It's an exciting time. I mean, we believe that the terminal will really be successful. It's going to provide a great gateway for business and leisure travelers to come. We're just 2 miles from downtown. With the growth of business in the downtown airport, with the bridge coming on, it's an exciting time for Mobile, and the airport is excited to lead that with a new terminal.
The timeline has been pushed back from the initial 2025 completion date, but the one thing that hasn't changed is the budget of over $380 million, and that's something that the Airport Authority is proud of.
I feel really good about that timeline. We were pushing all along for, I think, probably a really aggressive timeline, and we had to decide whether being on budget or being on time was more important, and the mayor and I agreed that completing this on budget was the biggest priority.
And when it's completed, the authority hopes to have major airlines for passengers to choose from. So now is the time to have those conversations.
We have just started the process of going out to really all of the major airlines and trying to seek airlines that are interested in expanding their service here. We believe with the new terminal we're going to be well situated to do that, and those conversations are really just starting.
Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
All right, Stephen, thank you for that update there. Well, we're officially into the 2025 hurricane season, and Fox 10 News is committed to keeping you safe. Our hurricane special, Storm Ready 2025, airs this Thursday night at 7. Jen, along with the rest of the crew, has been working hard to bring this to you. We'll take a look at what you can expect this year, how storm surge can affect you, evacuation zones, insurance, even how we track storms. We'll also share tips from the experts to ensure you are ready for whatever this year's season may bring. Again, be sure to tune in to Storm Ready 2025 Thursday night at 7 right here on Fox 10.
Well, taking another look at your forecast outside down in Pretty Dokie, things look nice. What we're starting to see is some sunshine, some puffy clouds on the horizon. And if you notice the flags right there on the far right side of the camera, on bottom there, it's going to be a yellow one, and on top, a purple one. Getting reports of a lot of jellyfish out there. Well, going ahead and taking a look at the temperatures, our Gulf Shores one still out at this time. Yesterday, it was acting up just a little bit. It had the feels like temperatures at one point closer towards 115, which is a little high, so it must be getting in service right now. But temperatures in Pensacola, mid-80s, feeling more like 95 with some muggy air out there. As we do get further along into the rest of today, those daytime highs, they're going to be maxing out mid to upper 80s, possibly a few lower 90s, but not as high of chances out there. But this is pretty close to average for what we should be seeing this time of year. If anything, we're a degree below. Luckily, nowhere near that record, 99 degrees set back in 1953. Morning temperatures also close to what we should be seeing for this time of year, even though it is still muggy to begin the mornings. Now, something to keep in mind is that in addition to the warm temperatures out there, the humidity, it's muggy. Those winds are out of the southwest. It's only increasing the moisture out there. We have a lot of that just situated over the Gulf. So with those southerly winds, it's bringing it all in closer towards us. So it feels like temperatures even higher everywhere. Instead of just feeling like the mid to upper 80s, we're going to be feeling more like the mid to upper 90s, adding on about 10 to 12 degrees for many areas out there. Still continuing to stay toasty. Just make sure that you stay hydrated, take breaks, find some AC. If you work outside, set a timer. That way you're reminded that it's time to take a break, go into the car, go inside, just get some of that AC, because this is only going to continue for the next few days. This humidity staying high, especially with those winds out of the south. No fronts that are going to be coming in to help knock some of that down, bring in some of those northerly winds. So you're almost rooting for some of that rain coverage to help cool things down, but still pretty isolated heading into the rest of today. Now, Futurecast, it's struggling, but it's struggling because these are those random pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Don't pay too close attention to the placement. It's more of the timing, because we are tracking some showers out there, but right now we're not quite seeing some of those closer towards southern Mobile, Baldwin counties, the majority of that further inland. So really the takeaway here is that we could possibly see a little bit of a break in that activity before more of these begin to fire off heading into this afternoon. Some of these storms could be a little stronger. They have some fuel out there, mainly just looking at the potential for some heavy downpours, some frequent lightning, some gusty winds, some loud thunder like we just heard last night. More of these will continue to push through closer towards 5 and 6 o'clock. Just make sure you have that rain jacket, that umbrella in case you get caught in any of these storms. Also make sure you drive carefully out there. But once that sun sets, we start to lose some of that daytime heating. So a lot of these storms begin to lose that fuel, and then we'll start to notice more of those beginning to fizzle out. Now the rain chances, those are only continuing because It's summertime here on the Gulf Coast. We have rain chances almost every single day. That's what we're going to be seeing even heading into next week. There's rain chances on our entire 7-day outlook. Some days just a little bit higher than the others, but also checking in down at our local beaches, the National Weather Service, they did have those rip currents as high for today, but after checking in with local lifeguards, they went ahead and dropped it down to moderate, mainly seeing those yellow flags out there, but just make sure that you're still being cautious. By tomorrow and Thursday, some improvements with it dropping to low. Here's what I'm tracking over the next 7 days. And as mentioned, it's summertime. Heat, humidity, rain chances every single day with more of those mild and muggy mornings coming into play by the time we get closer towards the weekend, starting off in the mid-70s. So keep that in mind for Father's Day plans, that we could see more of those pop-up showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. I'll talk more about your forecast coming up in just a little bit. More Fox 10 Midday is on the way. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back. We're in the business of helping people who oftentimes can't help themselves. This morning we have a story of a man who lost his leg after being hit by a car and continues to mow lawns and just about any other job in between to make ends meet. Fox 10's Lee Peck shows us he's not asking for a handout, but a way to keep moving forward.
He's cranking on run. With feel-like temperatures in the triple digits, 45-year-old Stephen Moore definitely feels the heat. These days, you'll find him cutting grass. $40 a yard.
You did all this with a weed whacker?
Yeah, I always do my yard. Yeah.
So you'll do the whole backyard with a weed whacker?
Yes, as soon as you record me, I will.
Okay. So what about the push mower back there? What is that for?
The push mower, it would have to go up and down. It's quicker for me for the weed whacker.
Okay.
Because there's less strain on my leg. And
Stephen was involved in a hit and run while riding his bicycle 3 years ago. He lost his right leg from the knee down.
I got hit April 28th. They took it May 7th. I had 5 surgeries before they took it.
He spent more than 2 months in the hospital, and his prosthetic wasn't cheap either.
Yeah, it's very costly. It's $52,000, and my insurance only paid $41,000, so I'm liable for the $10,000. They not rushing me for it, but I would like to get it taken care of so it can be off my record also. I feel much better.
With 4 girls and 4 boys, not working isn't an option.
Can't give up. I never was the person to give up. I always try to fight the obstacles I'm facing.
Plus, he'll tell you he likes keeping busy. In addition to mowing, he rakes leaves, power washes, and details vehicles.
Specifically, what type of equipment would help you out?
Zero turn, trailer, weed eater, possible another blower, just in case this one stopped going. You're always supposed to have 2 of everything in case something break down on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you have a yard he can mow, call him up. If it's not raining, he's working.
Them bills don't care about heat.
No, they don't.
No.
A hard worker who'd rather earn it putting in an honest day's work. In Mobile, Lee Peck, Fox 10 News.
Wow, what an amazing story and picture of resilience there. If you'd like to help Mr. Moore, we have his information inside this story at fox10tv.com. Well, straight ahead, small business owners are feeling better about the economy. We'll have that story and more in your business headlines. Plus, a former football player continues to inspire after a car crash that left him paralyzed. How he is recovering 6 years later, we'll have that incredible story for you after that.
Midday.
Welcome back in. The time is 11:32 now, and we have an incredible story for you. In 2019, Jason Cooper was a senior in high school and a student athlete with big dreams. But in an instant, everything changed. A car crash leaving him paralyzed. Now, nearly 6 years later, Jason is walking and inspiring others to keep going, no matter what life throws their way. This is his remarkable story of survival and strength. Fox 10 Sports Director Emily Cochran has more.
In 2019, Jason Cooper was a high school student athlete, chasing the dream of playing football in college. He got up early every morning, working out before school, went to practice every afternoon, and played ball under Friday night lights.
I was the average teenager so far as wanting to do everything, so far as with sports, go pro and stuff. My whole entire point was really I sacrificed my childhood to actually, do what I wanted to do when I get older.
But on October 3rd, 2019, Jason's life changed forever. A car accident left him with a C3-C4 spinal cord injury. He was paralyzed from the neck down.
My mom, she was like, you don't even know what's going on. And I'm like, Mom, I'm ready to go. I got a football game to go to. I just got some new cleats and stuff like that. And it's my first breast cancer game my senior year, so I'm really fired and pumped up for it. And she was like, she couldn't even get it out of her mouth. She had got stopped up. And the doctor was like, he sat beside me, he was like, there's gonna be a lot for you to take in, but yeah, you can't move.
Jason takes me back to a pivotal moment after the wreck. Lying in a pitch black hospital room, he found himself at the lowest point of his life, and he had to make a choice.
I told my mom, I said, if I can't play sports, you might as well just go ahead and pull the cord now. Just let me be. Just go ahead and just let me go. They have that type of theory to where the devil is on one side and God is on the other side. The curtain seemed to open just a little bit. And at that moment, the sun had risen up right above my room. And when the curtain opened just a little bit, it like a light shed straight in my face. And it was God, he was like, you got a purpose.
From that moment on, Jason made a decision to fight. He poured everything into rehab and step by step started to beat the odds.
On Saturday mornings when college football and stuff was going on, there's nobody supposed to be in there, but I had a therapist in there with me. If I couldn't stand up Tuesday, I'm going to stand up Thursday when I come back. If I can't crawl Monday, I'm going to crawl Wednesday. Just every day, just start progressing.
Today, Jason walks with the help of crutches, works out daily, and helps others do the same as a personal trainer. From the football field to the fight for his life, to the front lines of inspiration, Jason Cooper is proof that your toughest battles can lead to your greatest purpose.
I love the journey that I'm on now because the simple fact is, even though I'm not playing sports physically, I'm doing something that is way more different, but it can impact way more many lives. I had something traumatic that happened to me, but I still continue to be able to stay positive in a negative situation. And if you do that every day, you're bound to be successful.
Wow, well, once again, that was our Emily Cochran reporting. Jason says his goal is to share his story and encourage people to never give up. In fact, he has a documentary called Adversity coming out, which will be released this fall. And he hopes it will help anyone going through a tough situation to keep moving forward because their story isn't over.
Taking another look at your forecast right now and a live view outside down in Fairhope, and still just starting to see some of those breezy winds out of the south. Still more of those gray, gloomy, overcast skies, but some peaks of sunshine still making an appearance. But taking a look at satellite and radar, more of those isolated showers and not so much any thunderstorms just yet beginning to make an appearance, really dependent upon your locations. Let's go ahead and track along with some of these closer towards our inland spots, moving into Janes Mill. That's where we're starting to see just some of those isolated showers. Appleton, Frisco City also noticing some of that rain. Making our way just a little bit further south, northern Mobile, Baldwin County, starting to also see some of these closer towards Gulf Crest, Chunchula, Georgetown, Stockton, Hurricane, and closer towards Satsuma. Making our way just a little bit south, here's really where the bulk of those rain showers beginning to fire off, just closer towards Theodore, Rangeline, Irvington, Dawes, Union Church. So be cautious in case you're heading out across I-10 anytime soon. And then making our way just a little bit further off towards the east, also starting to see more of those showers, northern Escambia, Santa Rosa, and Okaloosa counties, near Century, Jay, Chumuckla, and also down on the south side there of Atmore. This rain coverage, I'm only expecting it to continue to fire off heading into this afternoon. Again, not quite seeing any of those thunderstorms just yet, but we're waiting for it. We're anticipating it because that heat, that humidity, they're really working together to just add some of the fuel to more of these storms. So we'll see more of this rain coverage beginning to pick up random where they start to develop. So the main takeaway is just to keep that rain jacket, that umbrella handy at any point while you're heading out. We'll see more of those beginning to pop up heading further along into this afternoon and this evening. It's not going to be until after that sun sets that we start to see some of that rain coverage beginning to drop off because it loses that driving force of that daytime heating. Even then, it's still pretty warm out there, so some of those storms will survive just a little bit further along into the evening. Heat indices out there right now, it's hot. Pascagoula feeling like the triple digits, Lucedale feeling like 99, West Mobile 95 along with Pensacola, and then also Molino, Calvert, Leakesville all feeling like the upper 90s out there, along with Navarre. As we get further along into the rest of today, expecting those daytime highs to continue to max out really the mid to upper 80s, feeling more like the upper 90s, possibly even the triple digits. It's hot, it's toasty, it's sticky out there. In case you're wanting to make a break for the beach, again, the National Weather Service, they went ahead and dropped down that rip current risk from high to moderate for today, after just getting some of those reports from the local lifeguards, mainly seeing those yellow flags out there for your Tuesday. By tomorrow and Thursday, hoping for some improvements when it drops to low. But again, I mainly checked in seeing those yellow flags. Dauphin Island was still showing that red flag out there, but also seeing some purple jellyfish. They are in abundance out there, so do be careful. Checking in on the tropics. Things are quiet. No new tropical development expected over the next 7 days. That includes the Atlantic, the Gulf, and the Caribbean. But we will continue to monitor and keep you updated right here on Fox 10. Summertime pattern continues. Heat, humidity, rain showers, thunderstorms possible every single day. We turn a little bit more mild and muggy to begin our mornings as we get closer towards the weekend. I'll talk more about your forecast coming up in just a little bit. Ashlyn.
All right, Jen, thank you. Well, here is your daily reminder that you can stream weather, breaking news stories, live events, or any Fox 10 newscast anytime on the Fox 10 Gulfstream app. You can do it with your smart TV device like Roku, Fire TV, Android, or Apple TV. All you have to do is use your remote to go to the home page for your apps and search for Fox 10 News. Select and download the Fox 10 Gulfstream app. From there, you'll be connected and ready to stream full newscasts, live events, Storm Tracker Next weather updates, stories on demand, and exclusive content like our new Unwritten Legends of the Gulf Coast series. Well, happening now, layoffs in media and retail, and small business owners are feeling a little better about the economy. Fox Business correspondent Madison Allworth has those stories and more.
More layoffs in media. There are reports Paramount will cut 3.5% of its U.S. workforce. CNBC says it viewed a memo to Paramount employees. It said the majority of the impacted staff will be notified this week. Paramount is losing viewers to cord cutting, and it is preparing to merge with Skydance Media. The number of job cuts jumping 80% in the first 5 months of 2025 compared to last year, with the retail sector taking an especially hard hit due to closures at stores like Joann and Macy's. There's been a 274% spike in retail layoffs so far this year. Challenger Gray and Christmas says part of the overall layoff story is due to the work done by DOGE, with federal government jobs, contractors, and private nonprofit layoffs on the rise. Shoe store chain DSW says it can't predict its business for the year. Shoppers are pulling back on items they might want but don't need. DSW is citing persistent instability and pressure on discretionary spending. It lost money in the recent quarter and sales declined. And finally, small business owners are feeling better about the economy. The National Federation of Independent Business says its small business optimism index rose last month for the first time since December, increasing 3 points to a reading of 98.8. The group's chief economist says there's still uncertainty about tax legislation and tariffs. Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
All right, listen up. The exercise brand Bowflex has recalled 3.7 million adjustable dumbbells after more than 100 reports of injuries. The Consumer Product Safety Commission said recalled items include the Model 552 dumbbells and the Model 1090. The commission said users have reported the metal-weighted plates becoming dislodged and actually falling on people. The dumbbells were sold in stores as well as online on Amazon and the Bowflex website. Consumers are urged to immediately stop using these dumbbells and seek a replacement or a refund. Well, coming up, AMC is giving you more time to grab some popcorn before a movie. I'm excited for this one. We will explain. Plus, items from the late Princess Diana's wardrobe are headed to auction. Also, Listen to this. Dozens of items from the late Princess Diana's wardrobe are actually headed to auction this month.
Yeah, so that includes her ski suit, a Dior handbag given to her by France's First Lady, and the floral dress that she wore to visit children in the hospital.
Fancy. In total, it features more than 100 pieces belonging to the former Princess of Wales.
Julian's Auctions has described the sale as the largest collection of the royals' fashion ever to go under the hammer.
Wow, the auction is titled Princess Diana's Style and a Royal Collection.
Online bids are being accepted ahead of a live sale at the Peninsula in Beverly Hills, California later on this month.
And the highest estimates belong to 2 dresses.
The auction house says that both are expected to fetch between, get this, $200,000 and $300,000.
Wow, not that I could ever afford this, but is there anything on here that sparks your interest? If you could bid on an item. She had great style.
She had great style. I like the handbag.
Yeah.
Especially the history behind it, that it was gifted to her.
That's incredible. Also, look at the colors on that dress as well. That's beautiful.
Even just the
wear
fit
that
and the
on
style.
air for sure.
Yeah, the fit and the style. I always more of get the sleeves from her. That's always the vibe.
The bell sleeves.
Yeah.
She was iconic and an inspiration for sure. Well, listen to this. AMC customers will have extra time to go to the lobby for popcorn, candy, and drinks.
Some mixed feelings on this one. So starting next month, the theater chain says that it will show more advertisements prior to the start of a film.
Yeah, AMC just made a deal with National Cinemedia, which will allow the ad company to show a commercial just before the feature presentation.
Analysts say that the so-called platinum spot is prime real estate for advertisements, and National Cinemedia already has that agreement with AMC rivals Cinemark and Regal.
Officials at AMC say the addition of ads is an attempt to bring in more money without having to boost ticket costs.
Movie experts say that theater goers can expect an average of 20 to 30 minutes worth of promos during the pre-show.
Jen, how are we feeling? I'm excited about this. I'm all for it because I am that person that gets up a million times and then always misses the start of the movie, honestly.
They always say that it's 20 to 30 minutes between when it starts and when the actual movie will. And so if this is a 3-hour movie, you're just adding on an additional 30 minutes. For kids, it adds on a lot more time.
What? That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
And then I think it's a slippery slope of soon. I'm just waiting for when they start to do intermission.
True.
And it's ads during intermission.
Depends on who you are then and what your situation.
I know, yeah. So some people are like, let's do it. I'm here for it. I need the break.
How do y'all feel about it?
I know. How do you feel? We'll see. We'll see going forward. Well, let's go ahead and talk more about your forecast. Just a reminder, it's a great time to go ahead, download the Fox 10 weather app. That way you're staying updated with everything that's going on out there. Now, we do have some rain in the forecast. We're actively tracking some of those showers. Now we're starting to see some of those thunderstorms beginning to pop up. You can start to see some of those lightning icons, starting to see some of those lightning strikes just closer towards I-10 on the Mobile side. So if you're just closer towards Dawes Theodore, you're likely hearing some of those rumbles of thunder. Only expecting more of that heading into the rest of today. But let's take a live view outside down in Orange Beach, and still just starting to see more of those waves just breaking a little bit further offshore. But that is a lot of people out there. In comparison to just about 2 hours ago, we're really beginning to see that beach crowd growing out there. Please be careful. Yellow flags. We are starting to see some of those improvements, expecting the Rip Current to drop to low heading into tomorrow. But here's a look at that. So low heading to tomorrow and Thursday, but back up to moderate by Friday and Saturday. Know the name of the beach you're located on, where the closest lifeguard stand is, and pay close attention to those beach flags, as we're also seeing purple flags out there. Lots of jellyfish. Forecast high temperatures later on today, right around average for what we should be seeing this time of year, mid to upper 80s. But taking that humidity into account, it's feeling toasty and it's feeling sticky, mid to upper 90s, and even already seeing some of those triple digits out there. I'm going to talk more about your forecast, time things out once again with a full look at the next 7 days. That's coming up in just a little bit. For right now, a live view outside down on Dauphin Island. We'll be right back after this.
Listen to this, a magical moment caught on camera as a Chicago zoo welcomes its first baby dolphin in a decade. A momentous event they say is making waves. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Watch the incredible moment a baby bottlenose dolphin is born and takes its first bubbly breaths on camera. The momentous event was captured at Chicago's Brookfield Zoo, where animal care teams had been monitoring Allie, an expectant bottlenose dolphin. Allie can be seen swimming alongside another female dolphin while sporting a pair of tails, the smaller of which belonging to the emerging calf. Then it happens. The baby bottlenose appears and heads to the surface to take its very first breath. The zoo said they are closely monitoring the calf and say it and Allie seem to be thriving. They also said this little splash has caused a wave of excitement as it was the first dolphin calf born at the zoo in over a decade. Another momentous birthday milestone, this one not at sea but by air, where a retired Missouri State Trooper celebrated 90 years on Earth by jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. The gravity-defying experience was on Joe Cook's bucket list, and KYTV reports he ended up sharing it with his granddaughter, who also has a birthday the same week. The B-Day bailout was a success, and after floating back to solid ground, Joe was ready to take the leap of faith again.
It's a blast. I'd do it again tomorrow.
Finally, one last celebration of life, this one in the form of a message in a bottle. Found off the UK's east coast, the bottle contained ashes and a note reading, "This is my mum. Throw her back in. She's traveling the world." According to People magazine, a woman grieving her mother's recent passing had put her remains to sea because she had never been able to see the world. The family that found the bottle followed orders and cast it back in, keeping the family's loving final wish for their dearly departed afloat. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Keeping her legacy alive. Well, before we're done today, take a look at this. Usually they're out fighting crime, protecting, and serving.
But members of the Saraland Police Department had their hands full protecting and serving in a different way.
Take a look. This video of a small alligator in the parking lot of Ruby Tuesdays in Saraland.
So as you can see, officers are trying to wrangle the gator.
Oh, I have not seen this yet, but it was more challenging than expected, escaping their grasps a few times.
He's just walking away. Eventually, officers were able to get a hold of the gator and bring it to safety.
Certainly not their usual call for help. No one or reptile, thankfully, was hurt in the incident. Take a look how little he is. He's feisty.
He is feisty.
Feisty little guy. Back in college, we actually had a massive alligator. I went to school at the University of Mobile in Saraland, come onto our campus, but he was about 13 to 14 feet. So a little scarier than this one, for sure.
But
definitely rattled the whole school that day.
I imagine it did. Well, let's go ahead and take a final look at your forecast. A live view outside down in Mobile. That's where you can start to see on the left side of the camera there some of those showers that are falling closer towards Theodore, and really expecting more of these to continue to ramp up heading into the rest of today. Again, random where it will start to develop, just depending upon your location. Have that rain gear ready to go. Some of them could contain heavy downpours, frequent lightning, gusty winds, and some loud thunder out there. Just make sure that you drive carefully over the next 7 days. It's summertime here on the Gulf Coast. Heat, humidity, rain showers, thunderstorms every single day. Keep that in mind for Father's Day on Sunday if making any afternoon or evening plans outside.
All right, well, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Thanks for watching Fox 10 Midday. See you at 3 p.m.